Hey everybody, it's Prince's Friend, and welcome back to the channel. Today I actually have a non-Prince review for you today for Straight Out of Oz by Todrick Hall. Now this is actually the third solo album for Todrick Hall, despite the fact that he had two albums before this and him being called like the Prince of YouTube and whatever, like for years. This is my first real exposure to him is this album. I actually saw him a few times as a guest judge on RuPaul's Drag Race, but really didn't know much about him. Apparently he also was on American Idol at one point, and I went and watched the YouTube video for that, and I'm like, I remember that guy. He's the guy who changed the Kelly Clarkson song so much to make it sound cool, and then the judges ripped him to shreds, and apparently he didn't go through. I actually remember that, but I was on YouTube, and YouTube suggested, hey, you should check out this video by Todrick Hall. And I was like, okay, yeah, let's check it out. And I kind of fell in love with it. Now, this album is actually pretty special for a few reasons. First, it uses the Wizard of Oz analog much more effectively than I've seen any other artist try to do in the past. Todrick also doesn't just allude to the theme, he immerses the album in it, and each song actually hits kind of a crucial beat of the movie. It also is mirroring his own past and his own career, letting people get like an inside glimpse at his life and his rise. So, see, he uses the Oz concept of him leaving his normal black and white world and entering the world of crazy stardom, which has its own twists and turns, kind of like a tornado. Another amazing thing that Todrick Hall did with Straight Outta Oz is he created a full collection of videos to tell the story. And then he took that and he turned it into a stage show. So I mean, there seems to be nothing that this guy can't do. Seriously. I can't... It boggles the mind why he isn't a bigger deal in general pop culture, to be this guy who can just do just about anything. He's kind of rivaling Donald Glover for me. What I'm reviewing today is actually the deluxe version of Straight Outta Oz, which came out in March 2017, and it's got a few extra tracks and material not found on the original release. But I wanted to hit this review next, not only because it's a recent release and I want to do more new music for you all, but also because me and my wife and even my kids, we just can't stop listening to this album. I think it shows real talent. I think everybody's going to hear about Todrick Hall. So let's get into the tracks.
No place like, there's no place like, there's no place like, there's no place like, there's no place like home.
So like many great stories, the introduction tells you what you're about to expect from the story that you're about to hear, kind of like in classic narration style. That's what No Place Like Home is, letting you know that it's about a boy who leaves home for something better, but who gives in to his lust for fame, only to realize that there's no place like home. It's a really clever song, and I really like the effect of having the home part of the chorus be kind of an interesting vocalized version of the word, with him kind of singing into it, and I think it really gives it that punch. It's a really, really good opening song.
Cause I just wanna be a
I'm all yours if you want me. Take my hand and just call me yours. I'm all yours if you want me. Take my hand and just call me yours.
So Proud is the real beginning of the story, where Todrick shares his love of the church at a young age. His grandma would bring him there to sing, and he took to it like a fish in water. It starts off with a young man singing as Todrick before switching to the older Todrick. It's got a really good gospel pop feel to it, but he admits that he didn't always know what he was singing about. He just really loved to sing, and he loved the energy of the songs in church. The song ends and he really digs into his personal experiences, and it's just him talking about what it was like growing up in Texas, and he was never without somebody to tell him how different he was. Now, if you didn't know, Todrick Hall is openly gay now, but it's interesting to hear about his experiences as a young man having to deal with those things in a place that is kind of known for its bigotry back in the day.
There's somewhere over the rainbow, and if you change the way you love, then maybe you can go. The streets are paved with bricks of gold. And if
So Over the Rainbow is about the memories of his father, which were quite the opposite from his mother. His dad would tell him to be more like a boy. Now, in today's world, this isn't really that much of an issue as, gender roles and gender expectations are being dropped. I know that I raise my sons and my daughter the same, and I don't pay any attention to who's the boy and who's the girl. I treat them all the same. A lot of that comes from my listening to Prince and, realizing that we're all half man and half woman, so why deny a part of yourself? But I also understand what it would be like being a parent, raising a kid in Texas like 20 years ago. I can't say that I wouldn't suggest the kid act differently so that he's not picked on too. I'm always a proponent for, be yourself, but also avoid, getting trampled on. I identify with it so much, with so much of what's being said, both as a man and as a parent. So it's definitely a contender for best track on this album.
They say dream, but not too big. Reach, but not too wide. Think the impossible, as long as it's in black and white. Leap, but not too high. Shine, but not too bright. Think the impossible, as long as it's in black.
So this is one of the newer tracks featuring Superfruit, who is a few members of the a cappella group Pentatonics who, when they're not all working together on their own things. They've been friends with Todrick for years, so it's nice to see that friendship is still there and they still like to collaborate, and they're also phenomenal singers. This song is a little bit more bubblegum pop than I like, but it's a good song. It's about people trying to put you into a box that you need to break out and you need to do your own thing. I really like it. It does come off a little too Disney-fied for my regular rotation of songs, but that's not really surprising. Todrick is obsessed with anything Disney. If you go to his channel, he's got lots of Disney-inspired stories and videos, but it is something to be expected, when you're listening to him. All of this actually sets up the strife at home that he wants to leave, similar to how Dorothy wanted to find a place to run away to before the tornado came.
There's something about you that makes my skies blue, and whenever we're through, all I can do is see color. There's something about us when we're together, and whenever you're there, everywhere I see color.
So this song is a beautiful duet between Todrick and a singer named Armstrong Johnson. It's really cute and all about finding someone to love that can make your world go from black and white to color, which strikes the first major beat of The Wizard of Oz, which is changing the film from black and white to color. My wife and I have actually decided that we're going to learn all the words to this song by heart, and we're going to sing it to each other. I think that's going to be nice. But this song is so good. This is actually the first song on the album that when I started listening to it, I was like, these are really good pop songs that could be played on any radio station. And I started to wonder why I didn't hear more about Todrick Hall everywhere. Like, why? Get on it, radio.
And where this old brick road is gonna lead, I just don't know. When you're gonna be strong, just promise me wherever you go. Don't forget the little people always there to cheer you on. Don't forget that they're your equal. Don't forget.
So as Todrick is leaving home, he sings a song with his friends about how he shouldn't forget where he came from and the people that got him there. So he can't forget the little people. This is another clever way to point to The Wizard of Oz, because once Dorothy was in Oz, she met the Munchkins, who are little people. There's a lot of play with the song titles on this album and the themes, which I really, really like. Again, this song is an ensemble piece that comes off as kind of Disneyfied, but in a good way. But it really works well for the musical aspect of the album. It's not a track that really works alone, in my opinion, but it really helps to set up the next song. Some of the vocals on it are really, really good, which shows you that Todrick is surrounding himself with really talented people.
But the bottles and the carpet, velvet ropes and the roses, the wine, the card black, but it's still real cute. When they clock this shoe, they be goop like damn. Who that with the bad kids?
So in his story, when he gets to San Francisco, he realizes that he has a fashion emergency and needs new threads. Specifically, he needs new red Timberlands. This obviously mirrors Dorothy getting her hands on the Wicked Witch's ruby slippers. But this song really is just an awesome rap song. It's all about the excesses of credit spending and how it can make you feel like you're rich even though you really aren't. One of my favorite lines is, "They call it new money, but I never knew they threw in complimentary cockiness with the purchase of a shoe." And it's just like, I was just like, that line is so like intricately written and well executed. It's just really awesome. It flows so well, the whole song. And he is a crazy threat. He sings, he dances, he does choreography, he directs, he raps. I mean, this guy's pretty damn awesome. Also, the video and the track have some backing vocals from some of my favorite drag queens. There's Alaska, Laganja Stranja, Kimchi, and obviously Willem Belly, my all-time favorite. None of them are great singers or anything, but I think they added a particular flair to the video itself, and to the song.
So I'm giving you one pass, and you better make it last, 'cause the very next time you throw me some sass, I'ma whoop that ass. Hey, I'ma whoop that ass.
So one of the most effective things on this album is that it juxtaposes Todrick's own journey with what is happening at home with his mom. She is his rock and his inspiration, but in this song she finds out about him spending all that money. She threatens to whoop that ass, hence the name of the song. It's a pretty entertaining song that again fits really well into the musical aspect of the album. Tracie Thoms sings this version of it, and she sings it really well. My wife's favorite line is, "You better call AT&T and tell them your mama don't play." She's like running around the house saying that all the time now. The song itself has a really kind of bluesy element to it, which I think makes it stand out against all the other mom tracks, not to mention that it's humorous in nature.
Thank you for flying Monkey Airlines. We're trying hard to keep you from dying, but here's a few quick tips if you don't mind applying them. One, I know your seatbelt hurts, but keep it on.
So this track is short and funny. It's sung by Raven Symone. Her voice isn't, the best. It's kind of high and squeaky, but I think it works to the song's advantage because it's supposed to be the theme of the airline that Todrick flew on his way to get to California and how it's supposed to be really, really bad. Like, the song is good, but the message is that, we're really trying hard so that you don't die. And it's really bad marketing. Pretty damn funny, though. It mirrors Dorothy's first encounter with the witch and her flying monkeys, which is a nice touch.
I could sing for you, but you prefer rap. Ask God why he made me out of burlap. Porcelain glass is a hall pass where I'm from, and I don't know about you, but I think that's gone.
So this track is really good. It's another rap track. where Todrick raps about the hardships he had trying to make it. This is the Scarecrow's song, singing about how it's dumb that people have to try and pretend to be who they aren't. He asks the question of why only dumb songs are played on the radio, why women would get paid less, why gay men can't get gigs as a leading man. Each question is retorted with, and I think that's dumb, which I think is a pretty awesome statement. It's also kind of his middle finger, I think, to the industry, which I think explains why you don't really hear a lot about him. He's really made a success of himself here on YouTube, being able to bypass all of the other like labels and all that stuff. So I think he's taken the high road, and he's just building on that success. So I think it's really commendable, and this is a good song.
But if I had a heart, it would still bleed. It would still be beating for you, feeling for you. If I had a heart, it would still need. It would still be patient for you, waiting for you. And if they play this on the radio, wherever you are.
Now on to the Tin Man's song. It's all about a terrible breakup he experiences when he moves out to California and had to leave people behind. I think it's a good song, but not really one of the best on the album. It seems like he's really trying hard to fit this song into the theme versus so many others that just fall into place seamlessly. I like the imagery though. His heart is broken, so he doesn't effectively have one. So the lyrics are, if I had a heart, it'd still be beating for you. I think the music is subdued and keeps it from really breaking through compared to so many of the other great songs. So I guess that's kind of the issue that you're going to get on an album with 22 tracks. I mean, some of them are just going to be better than others, even if they're all great.
It ain't you, so please don't change. I can't be true to no one else. Too busy lying to myself.
So the next song is Lyin To Myself. Get it? Lion. I think it's pretty clever. But beyond that, the song is about Todrick pretending to be something he's not. He wears gold chains and shades and tries to be cool because those things make him brave. But it's really not him. He really is cowardly inside, and he's scared, and he's pretending to be something that he's not. It's a really good dance track that I think you could hear in clubs and whatnot. It's really, really good stuff. Oh, and the lion makeup for the video for this was sick. Probably the best makeup of any of the videos that he did the whole time.
I tried to bear underwater for my baby. Bring on a lion, I'm not frightened, they can't take me. I tear the stripes off any tiger, you just call me and I swear.
So here we insert another mom song. This time it's his mom sitting around and wondering what kind of terrible things her baby is having to go through. It's a really sweet song about how a mom will tackle any obstacle for her child, even lions, tigers, and bears. It's sung by Tamar Braxton. She sings it well enough, though she doesn't really have the vocal range of Amber Riley, but Amber Riley is amazing, and it's really hard to hold a candle to her, like, unless your name is Rachel.
Well, I don't know if I know, but it's hard, but just close your eyes, enjoy the ride. Won't you swear my waist from side to side, make me say, I'm Papi, oh, that it would be a shame if you blow the chance.
Now this song is a fun one. It kind of turns the idea of the casting couch on its ear and has a hot assistant to the wizard, making a pass at Todrick for a chance for him to get a meeting. This song proves without a doubt that Nicole Scherzinger has a great voice, and that attaching her name to the Pussycat Dolls at the beginning of her career was really her only professional fumble. She's a really good singer. But this is a great song because she's really able to play the cute and innocent one moment and then like the hot woman the next. This song actually serves a dual purpose in mirroring the Wizard of Oz. She is essentially the guard that says, nobody gets to see the wizard, nobody know how. But the name of the song is Papi, like Papi, like the poppy fields that Dorothy and her friends had to go through to get through to the Emerald City. That also explains why it goes in and out of kind of a fantasy during the video and why she's wearing flowers. So I think that was a really nice touch. The song shifts from her making the pass to Todrick weighing his options. He's never touched a boob before, but if he doesn't, maybe he won't get his shot. Now, the song doesn't say expressly that he takes her up on her offer, but he does get to the Emerald City in the next song, so I'm leaving it up to her getting a taste of the chocolate.
They want that green money, but the green lies and the grass ain't greener on the other side. To get that green money, would you walk the green mile, then pose for the camera while you wave and you smile for the come and get it, come and get it, once you get it, forget it.
So this song plays into the musical aspect of the album again, setting the stage and explaining that Todrick does get a taste of fame that he wants. He's become one of the green people, citizens of the elite city of the famous, forever knowing that he's kind of paid a price for it. Perez Hilton takes the role of the announcer on the song. I mean, it could have been anybody, but Perez Hilton does a pretty good job. It is a good song, and it serves a purpose.
You should spend it where it's worth. Flight attendants ever sport for uniforms. If they ask you where you'll be, you're flying monkey. You're flying monkey. Ooh, we got
So now we get to the Flying Monkey airline again. In Todrick's story, his first job is to rewrite the Flying Monkey Airlines jingle. It's much better now, and it doesn't give me the willies just listening to it like the first one did. It's really short because it's a jingle, but it's enjoyable for the context of the story.
Put fresh new AA batteries in that old jam box you use, just in case I get to see your face. Well, our rent was paid a few months late, and they say we got...
Now, this song is awesome, mostly because of Amber Riley. It's a song about Todrick's mom missing him while he's gone. She's preparing his bed just in case he comes home, but she knows he's out chasing his dreams, even though it means that he's left her behind, and he doesn't call as much. She's his biggest cheerleader, though, and really just wants him to be happy and healthy. It's a sweet song, and it's sung to perfection.
Now if you think I'm some sideline type chick, think a guy's gonna sell me lies, best recognize real quick, bitch. You got the wrong bitch. You got the wrong bitch. You got the wrong bitch. If you think you gonna slanderize my name, you done lost
This
your
was the song
mind.
that YouTube suggested to me that got me to listen to this whole thing in the first place. In the context of the story, Todrick is sent to take down the leader of the Green Resistance Party, basically making a parallel with Black Lives Matter. It's also mirroring The Wizard of Oz, where the wizard sends Dorothy to go take down the witch if she wants to get back home. And in this case, if Todrick wants fame. Making it compare to the Black Lives Matter movement actually makes it both timely and powerful. In this song, Todrick actually plays the Wicked Witch of the West, whereas Bob the Drag Queen, one of my all-time favorite drag queens, actually plays the Wicked Witch of the East, the one who the house got dropped on her. So this song is a really good rap song. Again, it's the reason why I listened to the whole thing anyway. Like, I already liked Bob the Drag Queen. I was like, Todrick Hall featuring Bob the Drag Queen. Okay, yeah, let's give that a listen. There's a really, really awesome line in this song. And if you listen to the whole song, you'll probably go back and listen to this song a whole bunch of times. But there's a line where Todrick says, "And I'll be silent the day I hear motherfucking monkeys flying." They're flying now? It's just one of those things that, like, I about lost it the first time I listened to that. It's still awesome every time. Like, I still get a little giggle. It's such a great line. And the tagline, "You got the wrong bitch, bitch. It's just oh my god, this is the best song on the album. It really, really is. Now obviously the final battle between Dorothy and the witch ends with her splashing water on her and killing her, thus brings us into the next song.
These ain't water guns, and please save all our sons and daughters, what we're fighting for. 'Cause these ain't water guns no more. And these ain't water guns, and please save all our sons.
So after the smoke clears, the witch is dead. It's hard to realize the lengths that you've been pushed to get what you want. For Todrick, he uses this opportunity to talk more about the deaths of black men and women and Black Lives Matter movement. Jordan Sparks comes on to sing the chorus, delivers it very powerfully and emotionally. It reminds me of some of the protest songs that Prince wrote, to be honest, but again, using something recognizable and that everyone who can relate to The Wizard of Oz in order to make the message stick. It actually made me cry the first time I listened to it, but I've since composed myself.
What are you saying to me? This is a way it could be. Can you explain it to me? But you, is this even real? I thought we had a deal, but maybe we could still try.
So Todrick did everything he was supposed to and finally gets his meeting with the wizard, only to find out that there's no fame waiting for him, the wizard wasn't going to help him, and his contract was really kind of nothing. It's a pretty funny track, but also the penultimate track that really teaches the lesson of the protagonist. If you will do anything to get fame, then someone will make you do things that you don't want to do. And it's a fairly short track. I think it indicates the fast meeting that dashed Todrick's hopes pretty damn quickly.
I'm coming home, coming home, coming home, I'm coming home.
And then we get to the emotional ballad about Todrick just wanting to go home. There's no place like home, right? Of course, even though he goes home to lick his wounds, he's not there to stay. He's still got dreams, but he just knows now that he's not going to compromise himself anymore to try to get them. He'll just be him and no one else. And it's a great message and a wonderful ending to the album originally. I think this song really speaks to what us Prince fans love about Prince as well, is that he struck it out on his own, and he's like, I'm going to do what I want to do. And even if he's not trying to, Todrick is mirroring a lot of that spirit that Prince had.
Turn up, I'm the wizard, I pronounce it too. Like somebody dropped a motherfucking house on you. Get low. The house down, the house down. Sing 'em.
I need to see ya. I need to see your hands. I need to see ya.
So the last track used to be Home, and now they tacked on like an epilogue song at the end of the album called Low, featuring RuPaul. Todrick's story, it technically ended, but he took the opportunity of a deluxe version of the album to redo a song that he wrote years ago. This time he brought on RuPaul, and he added on some new vocals to the track and his giggle and some imagery in the video and all that stuff. It's really, really fun. It's a great track. It basically retells the story of The Wizard of Oz in a single song, summing up everything in one song. It's really cool. I think my favorite line is, well, she ain't flying on a bubble butt, waist thin, she's a 10 with a bubble butt. Rhyming bubble butt with bubble butt is pretty awesome, especially since they're exactly the same words, but they mean completely different things. It's just lots of fun. It's a great song, and it's a good addition to the album. In conclusion, if you don't know Todrick Hall, I'm hoping that I've given you enough that you want to go check him out. He's doing amazing things. He's a great performer. I am in love with this album from beginning to end. And that may be because I'm a sucker for concept albums, first off. But I also think it's because I love music that tells a story. And I feel like I know Todrick after listening to this album. Like, I know him as a person. And that was, I believe, what he was trying to do, was trying to connect with his fans and with his friends. And that can only be a good thing for any performer. So what did you think of my review of Straight Out of Oz? Tell me down in the comments. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the video. We also just launched a Twitter for the channel, so don't forget to follow me at @PrincessFriendYT. May you live to see the dawn. Nicole Scherzinger